up, everyone? You were just here not too long ago. We did the... Let me move some of this shit out of my face. The social's always the same, Edge2 Gaming. Find it there or go down to the links on the page. You were just here for the amazing shoot gauntlet. We are almost done. One more gauntlet tomorrow, and then the finale after that. All 13 episodes will have been watched, will have been seen, will have been reviewed, and will be put on the tier list at the very end of this, right before you guys vote for another soccer anime for me to watch. Had to change that. Had to go ahead and make sure the camera was looking good. Now we're here. This is One Piece chapter 1190. This is the live reaction, the official read. So we're here getting ready to dive deep into this chapter because I've been pleasantly surprised with everything I've been seeing, even with the TCB scans. But the cool thing is what I just took down is going to be put back up so that way you, the viewer, can read the chapter with me. So let's not waste any time. I have been recording a lot, doing a lot of stuff. I'm hungry. I'm ready to go get food. So let's go ahead and dive into this. Let me make sure everything looks good. Oh yeah, did I turn... I might not have turned that off. That's... well... I say it's fine to leave the music on, but the music sometimes wanders, and this is Rifty Beats' new single. I want it to stay on this channel and play this shit that's not going to be copyright stricken. And let me turn my deal on, and we will get right into 1190 because this is a chapter all about Scopper Gaban, all about Emu, and then also the shit talk that Scopper Gaban gives Luffy. I'm like, yo, Luffy, you... I need to talk to your boy because Scopper kind of don't like you, dude. He treating you like a bitch. But also, Luffy's not holding up his end of the bargain. And we're seeing some parallels to Sabaody, Marineford, who else pushed Luffy like the Katakuri-esque? So there's just a lot of stuff that's going on that people are talking about. That's fine. We're going to get into it. Oh. Well, we ain't going to do that then. I'm just going to turn it on. Now that we are here, let's go ahead and open up this motherfucking chapter so we can get into chapter 1190 of One Piece. Bam. There we go. That's a little bit too high, isn't it? Think so. Why do... oh, okay. Why do I have this high? Well, if I put it at the bottom of that, that'll be fine. I have it high because when we're watching the gauntlet, I have the deal go across the screen for the gauntlet, telling you what episode we're currently watching. Actually, I'll just show you. And so it pushes it up a little bit. It's going to look weird. But can you see it? Probably can't see it because I'm over it. If I move it up here, you can see it right there, telling you what's up next, what we're currently watching. So that is what I have put in the way of all my shit. But I digress. Let's go ahead and move the One Piece logo over just a bit to cover all of the manga. Because if not, they be bitching. I'm bitching and in chat talking about the manga at the same time, motherfucker. Y'all some crazy bitches. Alright, so we got it here. Boom. Let's go ahead and read. There's no fucking reason to wait any longer. This is something that we've all been fucking waiting for. Chapter 1190. And the thing that kind of sucks about this is we have a break next week. But take your time, Oda. Take your time. Make sure this is perfect. I don't mind that. We got this nice little music in the background. We shall keep it. We're starting here with our boy Shanks, head with a fish in his mouth next to Luffy. Title of this chapter, Those Who Bring Death, Celebration. So in the TCB scans, they were talking about people who die bring celebration to those that are worried about them. And that's exactly what we're going to get here. Chapter 1190, One Piece, Those Who Bring Death Celebrates. Those who bring... This is already starting off the best way possible. Coffee has not hit yet. Those who death brings celebration. 1190. We have Luffy fighting to bite a piece of fish before a cat that Shanks is holding in his left hand. And our boy, red-haired Shanks down here grilling up fish for, I guess, the cats and himself and Luffy. Reader request, Shanks grilling fish for breakfast in a port town, which is Fuchsia Village, surrounded by cats by Kodo. And it's weird They did not say the village because that's where Luffy lives. So, especially at that point in time, we start this chapter off. Look at this amazing shit. Luffy's still pinned to the tree over here. Scopper Gaban is trading blows. 1 axe versus his 2. Imu's fucking Zangting clang hits Scopper's axe. We go down, we see Imu just staring, and Scopper is grinning with that fucking menacing grin that he's always had every time we've seen this motherfucker. And Luffy, 2 swords, 1 through the left titty, 1 through the right. We go back over here and they separate. Now the clash from the axes has not only at the point of impact cut down the tree, but it's also slid our boys Imu and Scopper Gaban back. We go up here, gang, gang. Luffy is falling big ass Elbaf branches, but as he falls, the sword of nothingness and the sea god sword, or maybe it's the sword of the sea god and then Frogrosh or whatever the fuck it is stuck in him. But 2 of these swords slip, pop out of his body as the branch he is pinned to that was cut hits another branch and knocks him loose. And then Imu, who was just sitting calm, is breathing heavy. Then we see our boy Scopper Gaban slowing himself down with the spin of his axes and screeching his feet, not getting pushed back, but then hearing the crash and oof of Luffy falling as the branches and the swords fall out of him and he hits the ground. Ah! He yells, and then we see Imu, not missing a beat, coming over, tries to hit and take out Scopper Gaban, but Scopper Gaban has been watching many episodes of Dragon Ball Z. He does an instant transmission. Imu's looking around like, where is he? Hey, I'm up here, he says. He says, you're a hideous sight, like nothing of this mortal world, as he looks down at the big-ass Imu with Zangting in his right hand. Scopper is using his axes to hold him up and 1 out in front for his guard. Then Imu says, who art thou? One who knows the world, he says. Scopper says. Imu's just curious, like, huh? And Scopper jumps down and slowly aura farms the shit out of his slow walk away from Imu, back turned to the motherfucker that's killing everybody and turning everybody into evil. Imu just looks at him with the Rinnegan, and Scopper makes his way to right outside of Luffy's pit of torment. Ah! Luffy's yelling as he's holding his stomach, and Scopper goes, hey, nigga, just shut all that shit up. Hey, you need to listen to me. All that yelling ain't helping nothing. Who you yelling to help for, bitch? Who? And we see Scopper come over to Luffy. Yeah, I went to the next page. Come over to Luffy. On your feet, Straw Hat. Straw Hat Luffy. Ah! As Scopper grabs him by his jaw, holding him up. Luffy's feet are dangling at his knee level, and he has both of his axes in his left hand. He says, I'm disappointed in you. Aren't you ashamed at getting saved by an injured old man like me? Your white form, Emperor of the Sea. And Luffy just like, ow, wow, 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 as he holds his jaw. We don't see Conqueror's hockey. We don't see this man's immense cock on his hands at all, but it's on Luffy's face. And Luffy is getting squeezed very hard. Eyes are nowhere to be fucking seen in his head. And Luffy is sitting there yelling, and Scopper says, don't get full of yourself. And Imu's just sitting there like, yo, I thought I was the one whooping ass today. And Luffy goes, yow, hey old man, let me go. Then we see from Imu's perspective, right behind the hand that's holding Zangting, we hear Scopper still yelling, do you want to die here? And Luffy goes, no, I'm not gonna die. Yow, let me go. And with that one little luscious bang, that luscious lock coming off of Scopper Gaban's head, he says, you were a dead man walking. It's pathetic. What happens next after you're dead? And Luffy just closes his mouth, not even yelling no more in pain, but he's thinking. And then again, like a Sabo Odi or Amazon Lily. What's the Amazon Lily? Or no, he's on the island with Rayleigh and Jinbei. He's sitting there. Eyes are trying to come back into his head through the whites, and he says, I can't protect. And then we see all of Elbaf in the background. He says, my friend's country, and he's wheezing. Scopper goes, that's right. And what happens to the crew you've brought all this way? Their lives are in danger. And Luffy's just breathing bloody, bleeding, breathing, all the bees. And Scopper goes, correct now. Or correct. Now you listen closely. On this sea, the higher you rise, the more enemies you have. The King of the Pirates is a title for those whose death brings celebration because everyone else wants to sit in that seat. Hasn't let him go. He extends his arm now instead of having it bent. And, and he's sitting there. Luffy is just in pain, cursing his name. Scopper goes, if you're imaging, if you're imagining you can be king of the pirates with nothing but peace and sunshine and rainbows, save us all the trouble and go the fuck home. I threw the fuck in there. He's like, go home. And Luffy's like, damn it, because he's being talked down to. He's being chastised. He's being held here like a little kid as a Yonko. And Scopper steps on his right foot and chucks his ass like dirt. He says, you're not cut out for this. Not cut out for this at all. And Luffy, and he's like, now stay out of my way, Brat. Which everybody can see that however you want. He's kind of saving Luffy from Emu, keeping him alive, and he's going to step in. But he is disappointed because like, you should have did this. I'm already beat the fuck up. Luffy hits the ground. Ow! Emu's still sitting there wondering what the fuck's going on. I thought they were on like each other's team. I don't know. And then Luffy says, damn it, that stupid old man talking all that trash about me. I'll show you. And then he gets ready. Scopper raises both axes above his head, bandaged arms up. Mantis axe style, Mantis plum starts spinning, cling, 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 cling with his axe, hitting Emu's Zangting axe in a Mantis fashion style, driving Emu back. And then Emu says, is this a joke to thee? And Scopper goes, you want to kill him, don't you? Emu, I do. And he goes, as Scopper comes in and is striking axes to axe. Then Scopper starts to go to work, but still blocked by Emu, and the face he's making is mad as fuck. He says, does he really remind you so much? And then he starts smiling, of Joy Boy? And then Emu says, who art thou? Dost thou recognize Mu? And as he says this, a sword is coming out of his little black demon-ass halo. HONEBAMI Toshiro. And we see the same kind of serpent head figure that we saw in the Harley swirling around his sword as he grabs it in his right hand and holds Zangting in his left. Who dost thou know, he says, as he slashes Chopper. And I'm calling this, if you niggas don't think you did it, that's fine. But his armpit is cut. And we see that little snake that's swirling around. There's two of them swirling around. And the noise that they're making that is a crushing sound. So maybe they've crushed Scopper's arm. But we hear, and then Scopper's still smiling like he was in the panel the previous, right beside it. The words of Joy Boy, and Emu stops. But don't get it twisted. We're not blindly obedient to some man from the past we've never met before, Scopper says. We just want to see our captain's dream brought to light. Cough. This is the first time that Emu has started coughing and bleeding because nothing has hit him at this point, but he is bleeding from the side of his mouth now and coughing. Then we get the boy Luffy. Oh, I'm gonna get that old man for making fun of me. He'll get better. Just a moment is all I need, as he yells out, holding his chest. And Emu says, who is this captain? And Scopper stands bold, axes down, and we look at his arm that's just been struck, and it looks like it's been struck at the shoulder, and he is sitting there bearing that weight, bearing that pain, and yelling, the king of the pirates, Gold D. Roger. Then we go and Emu starts to reminisce. Emu is in shock, and he remembers sitting talking to the five Gorosei. He's like, this disgusts Mu. Why is the D on a king of the pirates? Spread not that name. I'm like, yes, great one. So again, Roger had his shit hid just like Davy D. Zabek. We just know more of Davy D. Zabek, and I can damn near guarantee we're going to get more about the Roger Pirates. And more past between him and Rocks and what kind of partnership they had, because Roger was crying when he saw what happened to him and saw that his life got taken from him. So there was some kind of friendship there. And then when they went to Hachinosu to talk to Shaq and shit like that, they had a camaraderie. We still see Elbaf, giant puff of smoke, says, I see, the very man who turned this into the era of piracy. And then After Imu says that, we see Imu standing over Scopper Gaban because he's tall as fuck. But he says, and why would the remnants of his crew protect Straw Hat Luffy? And Scopper says, because you're going out of your way to eliminate him. Is that not proof enough? If even you see him as a threat. And then he reminisces as they're on the Oro Jackson. And Roger says, someone will be born and eventually surpass us. We were just too early. And then he sees his 3 friends, his apprentice, and 3 friends, an apprentice, and Whitebeard. I say Whitebeard's a friend, 4 friends. Scopper Gaban, Silver's Rayleigh, Crocus, Red Hair Shanks, Odin, and Edward Newgate Whitebeard. And he continues, Copper says, then you're telling us that this boy is the very man we've all been waiting for, as he finishes talking to Goldie Roger. And then we see, bam, Luffy says, still whites of his eyes. But all of a sudden, Imu turns and looks at him and says, indeed, we have been foolish. And he makes the Maki sign, looks towards Luffy, and then there's a Maki flaming, a living flame on his chest. And Imu says, perhaps we have taken numerous mere coincidences for destiny. Let us end this now. So even though Imu has all this history, Imu has let things happen if they weren't of significance to what they were doing. And now he's like, oh, let's see what destiny has in store. And then Scopper says, no, you idiot, wait. And instant transmission jumps into the fucking air. Next thing you know, he's looking above Imu, and Imu says, sorry about this, Jewel Tree Adam. And then Scopper continues, it wasn't my intent to eat you. Ow! Because the strain of Conqueror's Haki puts strain on the joints. He's already in pain. Says, damn these creaky joints. It sucks getting old. As he brings his axes back, Haki still flowing out of him. And Luffy's bent over like he looks like he did when Magellan fucked him up with that poison. And he goes, old jerk. I don't care if he is friends with Rayleigh. And then Imu is about to shoot Scopper and says, Stig. And then Scopper goes, Gate of God. And Haki flies everywhere, destroying. We've seen this 2 times. One with Edward Newgate and another time with Gark's Galaxy Impact. It directly strikes Imu as well as Treasure Tree Adam, cutting off the branch that they were on and transporting it down to the underworld. After the tree, is it the right one? Hang on, I think I might have went too far. Oh no, we're good. After it hits the branch that Imu's on and Scopper's above, Conqueror Haki still coming off of him and Imu. Imu is being pressed and held down by the Haki. More blood coming out of the mouth. And Imu says, still the Pirate King's crew, even decrepit, as he pulls over the sword with our flaming dragon around it. And Scopper's as he comes down from gravity. Imu says, thou art so determined to believe. And then we hear Takeru, Yachi, and then Takeru and Hachi are attacked, slice, coming from Scopper Gaban. But even then, that dragon figure, that flamed figure comes to the left arm, and we know it crushes bones. I don't know if he's still holding on to his axe at this point, but then we hear HONEBAMI from Imu. And once that is said, Imu crosses his arm, and it looks like Aura's just farming the shit out of the swords. Scopper says, like, you aren't. And then Imu with a gash above his eye. It seems like Scopper's the only one that has been causing some damage. He has a gash above his eye, but his arms are crossed. And then we get the panel that says the underworld, as 3 big ass branches from the Adam tree fall down, destroying mountains underneath them. Huge as fuck. We go back up to the sun world. We see Gerd sitting next to a big ass Loki trying to bandage him and heal him up. He says, what was that? Eek! They yell. And then Nami says, was that Luffy? And Usopp says, no, it's not. There's someone else up there. Someone devastatingly strong. And then the next panel that we get is Scopper Gaban, left arm chopped off, laying flat on his back on the branch in Elbath. Don't know if he's unconscious or not, but he got fucked by Imu. And then Luffy finally notices, and he looks better because we can see his eyes. He goes, huh? Old man? And I know this is This is surprising to Luffy because Luffy just got his ass whooped by Scopper Gaban. But this was the crew of the Pirate King. And the Pirate King, Roger, would have kept being the Pirate King if he didn't die. I mean, it's just that simple. If he didn't die, they'd still be a crew. They'd still be traveling, doing the same shit, investigating. Ain't nothing gonna happen if he's alive, but he's dead. So, but this has been chapter 1190. What are your thoughts? Let me see. Like, was there anything that I was like? Because this is a very Scopper heavy. Excuse me. We get a new named attack. We see how hockey is used between him and Emu, and I do think this is going to be a time for the Straw Hats to regroup because it is the menace is so huge and massive in power. Emu is bleeding from his mouth and also fighting Scopper, but there's got to be something else that gives because Luffy's hockey has to be mastered, and the time difference here may be doing it, but the Gear 5 that he just goes in without using hockey. I mean, he goes into Gear 5, uses that hockey, but he doesn't dive deep. He doesn't train it. And every time we see Luffy transform, there's a yellow hockey that comes first before the red and black. And it doesn't do with anybody else because I watched. And I think that is the will of the Nika fruit, which has been talked about and discussed as a fan theory. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think Luffy's hockey, that yellow hockey, is Joy Boy's or Nika's? And once Luffy unlocks his Dela fruit completely, he gains access to it. Let me know what you think. Is there anything else about this episode, this chapter? It's just good. I got to see Scopper do some work, got to understand the parameters. Everybody's like, oh, he's way better than Silver's Rayleigh. Scopper got his own badges. Him and this is going to be what Sanji and Zoro are going to go through, and then at the end of the day, they just kill motherfuckers, so it doesn't matter. It only matters because you want one to be stronger, but they're good. They're good. Don't worry about it. Thank you so much. I'm Elijah 5000. Remember, all this music that you're hearing copyright free is from Rifty Beats. You can find him on YouTube or Spotify to use in your streams or just to chill. There's a lot of lo-fi shit that's just nice and relaxing. Thank you guys so much. I'll catch you in the next one. And if you have Amazon Prime, they give you a free subscription every month. Use yours like I use mine. I use it for my friends and shows that I actually really enjoy. And the fact that Amazon Prime gives me a free one every month makes it easy. I just have to remember to do it. So I set an alarm and just go ahead and give my free support to that channel. And if you want to give it here, it's greatly appreciated. If not, come like, share, turn on notifications, and have a blast here at Edge2 Gaming / Edge2 Otaku. The brief spoilers, remember we're on a break this week, so it won't be until the following Monday for 1191. Let me know what your predictions are in the comments below. Peace.